Hi there, I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner on this July the 9th, this Wednesday, and here's a look at your tropical outlook for the day. Thankfully, everything in the Atlantic is quiet right now, and no tropical activity is expected for at least the next 7 days. In fact, there's very little activity at all, even in the intertropical convergence zone in the main development region where you typically see it. One of the reasons is that there's a lot of Saharan dust we'll talk about that tends to tamp down thunderstorm activity, but also the water temperature of the subtropical Atlantic, which extends from roughly San Juan, Puerto Rico, eastward, is at almost the same temperature as the tropical Atlantic as you get farther south toward the equator. And so that lack of temperature contrast really prevents a lot of the normal thunderstorm development that you'd see thanks to the water temperature variances. So there's a lot of contributing factors in this. But in the next week and a half to 2 weeks, there's a potential in the Gulf of some tropical development. A greater than 20% chance that a stationary front that's expected to set up from New Orleans to Jacksonville, Florida, will have along it an area of low pressure develop, which could then spin up into a tropical depression or tropical storm, a big rain-making potential wherever it goes, and a flooding potential. Not so much of an organized, strong hurricane kind of situation, but more of an early season, sloppy tropical storm mess. But that said, it looks like any time between about the end of next week and maybe the week following, between maybe roughly July 16th, July 24th, we could see something to watch. Certainly there's a lot of uncertainty there, but one of the markers we look for is the water temperature of the Gulf, which right now is exceeding the September average temperature, one of the warmest times of the year in the Gulf, with a warm water anomaly, meaning it's warmer than normal by some 1 to 3 degrees Celsius, and that is significant, and that is pushing water temperatures over the edge to certainly support a stronger, more rain-sodden type of a system than otherwise at this time of the year. Now, one preventative thing that's happening right now in the Gulf is a lot of Saharan dust, especially in the western Gulf. But as we look ahead to next week, we may see that dust kind of tamping down a little bit as a stronger, more dominant lobe of Saharan dust blows across the southern and western Gulf, allowing for maybe a little bit of a window of development. But there's more dust from where all of this originated, which means that we're looking at a pretty slow next several weeks, which would also be typical in that main development region out in the open Atlantic. It's really not till the end of August into September that things really start ramping up in that basin. That said, we're happy everything's quiet for now, but we'll keep a close eye on what may develop late next week into the week following as we look ahead to the middle of July in the Gulf. I'm Fox 35 Storm Team meteorologist Brooks Garner.